Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm here with Tracy Aldridge of the Velvet Collection. He's going to talk to us about Peru and some of the surrounding areas with the Velvet Collection, luxury gold, insight. Yes. Why don't you take it away, Tracy?
Thank you, Erin, and thank you everyone for taking time to join us tonight. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. I'm going to go ahead and turn this camera off, and we'll come back at the end, Erin, if you want to, and where they can see us, but I don't like seeing myself when I talk like this anyway. So plus it'll give you the ability to see a little bit more here on the screen, so I'll turn my webcam off. But we will start from here and take a few minutes to talk about one of my favorite destinations. I just have to tell you, I love me some Peru, and I'll give you my background with that. Traveled there in July of 2018 with some wonderful travel advisors who actually are part of the same agency, host agency that this Erin works with, and so we really had a fabulous time down there. So you can see some of my favorite destinations. I'll list Peru first because it is really my favorite place to go. Greece, Eastern Europe, Egypt. I love the ancient civilizations. Been doing this thing with the guided vacation side of the business since 1991. That's me on the right, by the way. You can't tell with the cheesy mustache and the big hair. But I started as a travel director way back then, and this has just been part of my life the entire time. So I love seeing folks experience a new destination for the first time or for the second time or for the 30th time. Just really people connect with travel experiences. Now, the company I'm part of and have been since 2017 is the Travel Corporation. And I promise you, it's the biggest travel company you've never heard of, because technically we really only work through travel professionals like Erin. And it's really important, especially now. You probably have learned your lesson over this past year. It's really important to work with a true travel professional, especially with international travel, but even for domestic as well. The Travel Corporation is a parent corporation of about 42 different travel brands all around the world. We're actually based in South Africa, in Geneva, Switzerland, in London, 3 or 4 offices here in North America, including Toronto, New York, a couple offices out in Southern California. And so we really are a worldwide organization. But we'll be talking tonight about just a few of the brands under the Travel Corporation, and it's called the Velvet Collection. And really that's that premium and luxury type travel experience that most of you, I'm sure, are used to traveling in if you've traveled in the past with some of what Erin has set up for you, because I know she works with some fabulous, fabulous guests. So really these 4 brands, the Red Carnation Hotel brand, and then Uniworld, Insight, and Luxury Gold. We'll talk a little bit about those bottom 3, but just to give you an idea of who Red Carnation is, Red Carnation is a collection of 20 boutique hotels all around the world. There's only one here in the US, and that's down in Florida, near Palm Beach. It's called the Chesterfield. And then we have several, 5 or 6 actually in London, Geneva, Switzerland, 3 or 4 in also in Africa, and so just several different properties, a couple over up in Scotland, and then of course a famous castle called Ashford Castle in Ireland as well. So that's sort of the pedigree of the company, because their Travel Corp sort of started with the Red Carnation Hotel Collection and has grown to be all those amazing brands that you see. I want to start too by talking about what a guided vacation is, and maybe 7 good reasons to do a guided trip. A lot of folks, like to travel on their own, and I totally understand that. We call that in the industry FIT, foreign individual travelers. Sometimes people call it fighting international traffic, because if you are on your own, you do have to know a lot of things, or take care of a lot of things by yourself. When you travel with a premium or luxury guided experience, you really do have some benefits to that. First is that you're always in the know. You've got someone with you, a travel director, or we'll talk about a traveling concierge here in a few minutes, taking care of all your details. And they know the rules, the regulations, especially nowadays with post-COVID, and exactly what you need to know in different parts of the world. You have someone with you taking care of that. We have a great care team, not just that travel director, but also another staff member called a well-being director, someone making sure that all your needs are met from a well-being perspective, especially in situations where you might need to take extra precautions. So, and we have, 24-hour service all around the world. There's different offices everywhere that you go. So we have someone who can take care of any questions or issues. We have verified, trusted, and exceptional standards with our partners out there, the restaurants, the hotels, the experiences that we do. We have been working with for over 40 years in many cases, and so we know them very well. They know us very well, and they know our standards very well. So this is very important to keep in mind, that you travel with people you trust and you work with those people that they trust as well. You're in a protected bubble as well in a small guided group. That means that you're not intermingling with other people from other places necessarily, just on your own. You do have your own protected group there, if you will. And you're also always able to kind of keep your distance in that type of situation. You're allowed to have your own felucca, as you see here in this picture, out on the Nile River, or you're actually in your own rail car or something like that, depending on where you might happen to be traveling. That's one thing we definitely take pride in, is being able to give you that individualized service along with that group protection as well. And there's unique experiences that we do for guided vacation, unique insight, unique luxury gold experiences. We'll talk more about that. These are things you can't really do as an individual traveler either because they're really just exclusively provided for our guests. And we'll talk about some of those. And then last but not least, and this is my favorite part of going guided, is you can relax. Once you arrive in your destination, get through all the airport transfers and all that stuff, then everything else is just pretty much laid out in front of you, and you can just relax and let your traveling concierge tell you what time to get up, where you need to go, where your next meal might be. All those things are very important. And of course, you're traveling on a luxury motor coach or small vehicle of some sort, taking care of all your details. So that's just what I wanted to touch on real briefly, why you might want to consider a guided vacation experience, especially now after 2020 and the world has changed so much. So with that, I want to talk about the highest level guided vacation experience you can have with the travel corporation, and that's our brand called Luxury Gold. And Luxury Gold, you know, sometimes people hear that term and think, oh, is that too fancy for me? Really, it's not. It's not the style of travel in the sense that you have to be dressed nicely and wear your tuxedo all the time. It's the level of service you're going to experience, really, is what Luxury Gold talks about. And you're going to be treated like royalty everywhere you go. And these are the destinations we travel with Luxury Gold, with over 50 immersive experiences all around the world. And this is the family behind the brand. I mentioned earlier that we are a family-owned company, and this is the Tolmans. Stanley Tolman is the son of the patriarch. 100 years ago, we got started in 1920 in South Africa. And Mr. Tolman is our chairman, and his son, Brett Tolman, is our CEO now and basically runs the company. And you see the beautiful Miss Beatrice Tolman there. She is really the mother figure for all of us at the Travel Corp, and is so involved in design and the really touch and feel of Travel Corp and our hotel brands and our luxury experiences as well. So wonderful people to work with. Their motto is no request is too large and no detail is too small. And we'll kind of touch on some of that as we go through as well. I want to talk first, though, we're going to get into Peru now. Actually, you see some photographs here from Peru about something that sets Luxury Gold apart. Luxury Gold doesn't just have travel directors, and travel directors do an amazing job. That's what I used to be way back in the 90s. But a traveling concierge really steps up that next level of service. As we get into the presentation and we get into the town of Cusco, I'm going to share with you a personal experience I had with our travel director, Roberto, and I actually share a picture with him and just tell you that there is a difference between a travel director and a traveling concierge. But of course, these people are traveling along with you. They know the language, they know the culture, they know the history, they know the standards that are needed, and they know everything that you need to know. And they provide that information for you as you travel to some of these amazing exotic destinations. This is my lovely wife and myself back in 2018 with Roberto, and we're in a beautiful restaurant in Lima called Astrid and Gaston. It is one of the top 50 restaurants in the world, and it's where we actually finished our celebration dinner on our Luxury Gold experience in Lima. But you see Roberto there in that photograph with the three other gentlemen as well. This is just an example of the special treats you get along the way. We were stopping for a little rest break at a beautiful little plaza here to overlook Cusco, and as we got out of our vehicle, these gentlemen were waiting with wine and snacks and hot chocolate. It was just a perfect place, perfect time, perfect setting for this. And I'll actually share a few pictures from that scene here in just a few minutes. Let's get into Peru. If you've never been to this place and you've never heard of a place called Machu Picchu, let me encourage you to look it up. It's actually a site of ancient Inca ruins about 50 miles north of the city of Cusco. And Cusco is really the Peruvian capital of Peru, or the Inca capital of Peru, whereas Lima is the Spanish capital of Peru. Of course, you know the history of the Spanish conquering that part of the world. And Machu Picchu is a beautiful, exotic place that we still don't know a lot about. We're still discovering more about it. And it is incredible. This little video is my entrance into Machu Picchu. It's only discovered a little over 100 years ago by a UNESCO World Heritage Site scientists here. And once you walk in, it's almost like a religious experience. They still don't know the full reason why this community was built. They believe it could have been a summer retreat for the Inca royalty. Just really not sure. It's in a beautiful setting. It's at 8,000 feet in elevation. And you just, pictures don't do it justice. The video here is fabulous, but it still doesn't do it justice. It's just incredible to think about the work that took place. Now look at the masonry in the stonework, as you see here. All of this was done, of course, by hand. It's about a 600, 700-year-old civilization, so it's not super old like the Egyptian pyramids or something along those lines, but still a mysterious existence here within Inca. And this is just some of the scenery. These terraces, there are literally hundreds of these terraces, and you'll see a little bit more as we go through. You can also climb this smaller mountain over here, which we don't typically do because it is a very strenuous climb. But I am going to show you here in just a few moments some of the experiences that we get to do. We do spend 2 nights here at Machu Picchu, where a lot of companies only spend 1. We get there in time to get you to a nice hotel. We'll pause this right here and let you see. Oops, let me back up. These are people right here. This is the magnitude of these terraces. And of course, they created these for farming purposes and of course to control runoff and water. Just think of the work it took to create this. It's just incredible. Right here's where you saw me come in a few minutes ago on that video. And these are the terraces. And they are, you know, half a mile, almost a mile up the side of this mountain here at 8,000 feet in elevation. It's just incredible to explore this, but we explore in the morning with a local guide with our little whisper headsets. They take us around and explain to you the significance. This is actually a calendar built sort of at the top of the civilization there, somewhat like a sundial type thing. They really do follow the movement of the stars, the planets, and the sun. A very special connection to astrology here, as some other ancient civilizations did as well. And this is right here near their main temple complex that we believe built in the side of the mountain there. And they're still learning about how some of these things were used, but there's an irrigation system where water is actually brought in and taken out of this community that's 700 years old again. It's just incredible how they moved water. They had fresh water to drink in their homes and in their for their livestock. It was just amazing. There's no mortar between these rocks. They are perfectly cut to stay on top of each other. This is another part of the temple complex, somewhat rounded. It's the only rounded building you'll see because the windows are perfectly aligned for the winter and summer solstice. Of course, you know that's taking place in June and in December, the 21st of each of those months. So there again, they do follow the movement of the sun and the stars. Here again, you see the terraces. Now this little video, I'm not gonna, the audio is not gonna play on it, but actually I just wanted to show that, oops, back up here, just want to show, this is what a pathway looks like leading from the gate, what they call the sun gate, sorry, the sun gate. And that was the main entrance into Machu Picchu. I show this so that you can see it is not necessarily a smoothly paved terrace or area to walk. So if anyone does have some mobility issues, I would caution them to spend a lot of time here because it is still, as it was 600 or 700 years ago, it's actually probably better than it was then, a very rough terrain. You do have to be able to move and walk through this area as much as possible. But with that, oh my goodness, my picture's here freezing up. With that, I do want you to know that you do have excellent guides with you that will help you, with any type of questions or issues as you're moving your way through the experiences here. And I did not know why there we go. PowerPoint is not performing well at this time. Let me see here. Oh, where are these images gone? Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. This one was giving me a hard time before we started. Let's just go right here real quick. Again, we can climb, and this is me at the top of Machu Picchu, the Sun Gate. This is the entrance, and way back there is the town that we were just exploring. And it is about an hour and a half little hike to the top here, but it's a fairly easy hike. You're not going up, you're not having to use your hands and knees. It is a fairly steady climb, but it is really a beautiful scene from the top here at the Sun Gate. And of course, they do have the llamas. I call these llama mowers because the reason they keep the llamas here, not necessarily for pack animals anymore, but they do keep the grass eaten down. So that's very important, of course, to experience as well. I do want to kind of not change gears, but I want you to know there's another option to experience Machu Picchu and Peru, and it's not just with the land experience as you saw with Luxury Gold. And by the way, the quick story about traveling with my traveling concierge, we were in, the picture's supposed to be right there, we were in Cusco our last night, and we told our wonderful guide, Roberto, that we wanted to purchase a ring for our daughter. We told him the first day of the trip, and we were afraid he had forgotten about that request because our last night we finished dinner and we're about to fly back to Lima the next day, and the shops were all closed. And he came to us and said, "Are you guys ready to get your ring?" And we said, "Roberto, we're sorry, but we know the shops are closed, so I guess we'll have to wait till Lima." He said, "No, we're not going to a shop." He actually took us to a silversmith, a person that he knew personally, who made us a silver ring for our daughter. So that is the type of experience you get with Luxury Gold with your traveling concierge. It's not just a, point you to go here or point you to go there. They personally take you to an incredible experience of just seeing that ring being made. And it wasn't super expensive, a couple $100. He knew what our budget was. So that's the kind of service you get with a traveling concierge. Now with that, I want to kind of talk also about our sister brand Uniworld, which just introduced this year a trip to Peru as well, which will do Machu Picchu as we just talked about, and some of the other exciting things, including Lima. You'll also get to do the Amazon River on this beautiful Aria Amazon. Now look, only about 16 guests per side here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the same on the other side. So 32 to 35 guests traveling on this small Amazon River cruise ship. And it's not just any Amazon River cruise ship. I want to show you a quick little video that will show you some of the interior, some of the other, look, these are your bedrooms. Oh, I went too quick. These are your bedrooms here. They are incredible. You'll get to look out on the Amazon as you wake up and as you go to bed. This is the common areas up top. There's also a dining area up here. Now, I apologize that the sound doesn't necessarily look very well in some of these videos, but I will kind of give you a blow by blow. And I want you to just...
Deep within the Peruvian Amazon and accessible only by water, La Caña Sumida Reserve is one of the Earth's most fertile sanctuaries. We invite you to journey with us into this fascinating landscape on board the Aria Amazon, custom designed to invite the river into every moment of your unforgettable adventure. As you become one of the very few to explore this living
dining room there,
our exceptional guides bring you to encounter rare pink dolphins, and on foot into the rainforest, where they point out three-toed sloths hiding in the tree canopy. Don't forget to look up at a clear sky crisscrossed with vibrant.
And I'm just going to tell you as we finish the video here, this area, I believe, is the next big expedition area for especially those in North America. It's much like the development of Africa over the last 20 or 30 years for tourism there. The infrastructure is now coming into play here in the Peruvian Amazon for folks to be able to have better access to explore this area. It's really an unexplored part of the world by a lot of people. So I encourage you, if you're interested in seeing the Amazon, learning more about the ecology, look how beautiful these rooms are, though, and doing it in a luxurious way with fabulous food. I think there's going to be a quick little video or a quick little segment here on the food that we'll experience with, top shelf aboard this incredible ship as well. The howler monkeys you see here, and these are just award-winning accommodations, as you see here on this beautiful ship. So I'm excited about this possibility and this opportunity to travel, to see more of Peru. I'd love to get on this ship and experience the luxury and the food. There you go, some of the dining experiences here on this amazing ship. And we are just so proud to partner with the Amazon Aria. We'll be starting this in September later this year. So we'll, of course, continue to run this into next year as well. So if you're interested in more than just Machu Picchu in Peru, we definitely can help you out with Uniworld as well. So really excited about that possibility and to let you experience, another portion of what Travel Corp is all about. If you wonder what the benefits of river cruising, and something I've shared in the past, it's just very smaller, more intimate. And of course, the ship that you just saw, we're only looking at 30 to 35 passengers. It's the safest way to cruise. It's truly immersive, and every room, as you saw in that particular video and this photographs, has an amazing view. You're not stuck in an interior cabin anywhere. If you're not familiar with Uniworld in general, it's a wonderful river cruise brand that is the best of the best. If you ask me, it is the most awarded and the most all-inclusive river cruise. Another place you might want to experience a wonderful river cruise experience is Egypt, and I had the pleasure of traveling there in 2019, just before the COVID shutdown, and we have a brand new ship in Egypt on the Nile called the SS Sphinx. It's so new, I don't even have pictures of it yet. So we'd love to share with you the Nile River as well. Just like, people really are train buffs. Some people are river buffs, and they want to travel on the most beautiful and exotic rivers around the world. And of course, the Nile and the Amazon, I think, are 1 and 1A for a lot of people. So if you're interested in the Nile, we can do that as well. With solo travelers, we do this with both our guided trips and with our river cruises. We can definitely work with you on that. We definitely want to encourage you to book early, though, if you are a solo traveler, so that we can get you locked into your space. And if you're a past guest with us, we will take care of you with our wonderful loyalty program. We'll have some special things waiting for you if you've traveled with us in the past. We really take our River Heritage Club folks seriously, and we really appreciate what they do for us. There are some great deals out there right now. As you might know, there's some special amenities for our wonderful partners who are part of the Virtuoso Consortium, which Miss Erin is, and we're actually doubling our benefit to our guests on river cruising right now to $400 per person shipboard credit. Now that's a wonderful way for you to be able to get a little more activity. So you don't necessarily need all that shipboard credit unless you want to do some spa treatments and things like that, but you can definitely use that. And these are some of the trips that are leaving here fairly soon. In case you're interested, we are happy to be back on the water in, of course, France and Italy and Central Europe and Portugal and Spain. Egypt is open right now, as is Iceland and Croatia and other parts of the world as well for our land trips. So just keep that in mind. We are so happy to see that things are opening up, and we are ready to get back out and discover. These are some of the trips scheduled for this month and next month for Uniworld. As I said, July 4th, we've got Paris and Normandy. Later this month, Spain and Portugal. So we're really getting back to normal, hopefully quickly. These are some of our June and July departures and August for Insight Vacations and Luxury Gold. We've got a lot of stuff happening here in the US, but also natural wonders of Iceland, as I mentioned, Egypt, the Greek island hopper coming up the 4th of July. So if any of these destinations appeal to you, Miss Erin can fix you right up. She can take care of any questions you might happen to have about these wonderful destinations. So I apologize for a little bit of a technical error on some of those photographs. We had to skip a couple, but my PowerPoint was being a bit touchy this evening at this point. But Miss Erin, does anyone have any questions? Anyone pop in with anything they'd like to ask at this time? You can feel free to type those questions in under the little chat feature on your screen there. And we'd be happy to answer them. Of course, you can reach out directly to Erin as well after this presentation, and she will be more than happy to answer your questions too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tracy. You can really tell how much you enjoy Peru and Egypt. I've seen your pictures on Facebook, so.
Do you have your pisco sour there ready, Erin?
What was that?
Do you have your pisco sour ready? I had a picture in there, but
I have mine right here.
Yeah, this is a bottle of pisco, and it is very special, a very special bottle. This is one that was given to me by our traveling concierge, Roberto. I haven't opened it yet, just I'm kind of waiting for that special occasion. And if you can't tell, it's actually Machu Picchu on the bottle itself, which is really cool. Wow. And he offered this to anyone on the trip if they'd like to have a bottle as a memento, and he purchased those and gave them to us on the trip. So very nice. So I would love to have a pisco sour with you, but I don't want to open this bottle yet.
I understand.
I'm probably going to keep it for years, but yeah, I love the destination. They have something there called Inca Cola too. I had a photograph of that kind of got stopped there, and it tastes like bubble gum. It's a yellow looking soda, like a Coke, like a soft drink. But when you drink it, you're expecting citrus, but it was bubble gum flavor, which throws you off.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the food, by the way, was amazing. One of the things that you get to experience there is guinea pig. Some people call it cuy, and it doesn't taste bad. The guinea pig's kind of skinny, so there's not a lot of meat on it. But the food was wonderful. We had a great experience with food cooked actually in the ground, like they do in Hawaii. If you've seen those type of hot rocks and the food's cooked in the ground. That was another one of those pictures that wasn't popping up for us there, and I'm so sorry about that. But the food is wonderful. We take a train ride from the Sacred Valley into Machu Picchu, into the Ollantaytambo, the town just south of the village there, and the train is a wonderful experience as well. So I can talk all night about Peru and my passion for this place, but I am more than happy to answer any questions as well if anything comes up. Anything on your mind, Erin? Anything you want to ask about?
I do have a question about the river cruise in Venice. Are you all the only company that's able to cruise the Venice Lagoon right now?
Yes. Of course, the big ships are no longer allowed in there, actually because of a little incident that involved our ship a couple of years ago. Everyone's fine. It could have been a whole lot worse than it was. But the big ships are no longer allowed to dock, and as far as river cruise ships, we are the only river cruise company allowed to dock in the lagoons there. So very good access, of course, to St. Mark's Square and the beautiful scenery of Venice. So that's correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. I've been asked that a couple of times recently, so.
Yeah, yes, we are. So we're very pleased to have that exclusive access there.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I haven't seen any questions pop up, but I know I had several people register, and I will make sure they get copies. We have a couple of guests, it looks like.
Yeah, I've got, this is being recorded. I'll send you a link to this recording, and you can definitely share it with other folks who might want to learn more. And I apologize for some of those photographs not popping up. Maybe we can do a follow-up, and I'll show some of that food if we have a chance to do that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.